We are back with Dimitri for the second video. Patreon supporter, once again, thank you very much for your support, and you too could be in a video if you sub to the Patreon down in the description below. I'm going to be doing Duel Links today, and I don't have any Duel Links experience at all, so you Yu-Gi-Oh players that have Duel Links experience, you're about to watch me get everything wrong. I have no idea. I know about Yu-Gi-Oh, I know a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh, but just not about Duel Links, and we're specifically going to do the skills today, and I also have never seen a skill in my entire life. So Dimitri is going to help me out in learning the new skills, or skills in general, maybe some difficult ones or what have you, in Duel Links. So we'll kick it off to you,
I went
Dimitri.
for a mix of, some of them are memes, some of them are actually supposed to be good, and for the record, the first one I'm going to pick for every skill video will be one that is based about gaining life points, because that's obviously going to be interesting, because those skills can be used in almost any deck, so that means a lot more versatility.
Okay, this one is called Dino DNA. At the beginning of your turns, so what does it mean by more than one turn there? Turns.
In this case, it is this at your turns, at any time it is your draw phase.
Okay.
Before you draw.
Okay, so there's like no reason to have the turns plural there and not non-plural.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's how that's how it's, I have actually looked on Duel Links, and to my knowledge, that is because I was checking Wikipedia Duel Links meta, and they both have that same phrasing. So I'm not sure if that's the fans doing it or if Konami is the ones screwing up. But so I would definitely be so that's why I'm saying these are as close as I can get.
Okay, at the beginning of your turn, recover 200 life points. So how much life points do you start out with in this game?
They are doing the 4,000 life points.
Okay. I can see this being kind of good if you're playing a control deck, but I'm not sure how much the attack power of certain cards have. The attack power of certain cards, like if I showed you like a 7-colored fish in this game, would it still have the same amount of attack points in
Basically,
this game?
the only difference is some effects have been adjusted to adjust for the fact that they are using the Speedo format, which only has one main phase. Otherwise, they are basically the same exact cards as the Yugioh.
Okay, I'm just gonna come off right off the bat and say this is not playable at all.
This is one of those kind of games, because like I said, this could be used, and there is no limit on what decks this could be used on, which means every deck can use the skill.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Is there like arrow mages in this game?
There is literally there are some that have requirements, but this is But a skill is a skill slot. It's like a commander and magic, basically.
Okay, so if there's a row mages in this game, I think this is rogue playable, because a row mages work off of whenever you gain life points. So
yeah, but this is still, like I said, this has a result, and as I said, if there's a result, it's either rogue or King of Games, and this is King of Games because it can be used in every deck ever. Any archetype you want can use this, which means that you already got a broken archetype that's easy to get to last a while. You can play 200 life points. It won't hurt to have 200 life points if you're all playing, because its skill is limited to a character. There are some skills that are considered generic and will be across multiple types. So I will actually be saying that is a thing, but for this one, Dino DNA is exclusive to Tyranno Hasbury.
The what?
But, so basically every character, because you play as characters from the anime, and each character has a skill, and some are character exclusive, like this one, which is locked exclusively to Tyranno Hasbury. There are some that almost every character has.
Okay, gotcha.
And then recently they came up with the Rust world, Sevens world. They have added a fully generic skills which are actually based off archetypes. So that actually will lead us straight into our second skill.
Okay, this one is Awakening of the Charmers. I love Charmers, by the way.
And this is fully generic for the record.
Okay, this one's generic. Okay, reveal one Charmer or one Familiar Possessed and return one card from your hand to your deck to set one Awakening of the Possessed from your outside of your deck. This skill can only be used once per duel. If you begin the duel with a deck containing Asa, area, Hida, or Win. Okay.
And that is the familiar possessed only.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, because that is an important thing to distinct.
It is important because there are cards like the Nefarious, the Eater of Nefariousness, that's like kind of like in this archetype as well, and there's also kind of cards like the Charmers that are kind of in this archetype as well, but they're not familiar possessed cards. So I do understand.
Yeah, and that's why I'm making that distinction, because that is important to note. So
yeah. And there's also a lot of cards that have like the same typing, the same attack power as cards like this, which starts like 1850, like Fairy Tale Snow and Fairy Tale Luna, both have 1850 attack, but they don't actually go into this archetype. So I do understand the distinction there, but revealing one and return one from your hand to the deck instead of Awakening Possessed from the outside of the deck seems like pretty good. It can only be used once per duel, which is like very limiting compared to like what we just saw last time with the getting 200 life points every turn. You do have to start your deck with Asa, Area, Hida, or Win in your deck, which is like it's a little bit limiting. I'm not sure like what the good archetypes in Duel Links are.
And for the record, you have to contain all 4 of them.
Oh, it's all 4. Okay.
All 4 must be in the deck.
And what's the deck limit? How many cards do you have in your deck?
It is to my knowledge, it is 20 to 40 is the limit. I tend to play actually, I think it's 30 to, I think it's either 20 to 30 is the default, and you can get up to 40. And the default extra deck is either 5 or 6, and then you can get up to, I think, 8.
Okay. See, the problem I'm having with this is that the familiar possessed cards aren't really that good to begin with, and if it's going to be like a fifth of your deck if you're playing 20 cards, all 5 of these, like that's pretty limiting. And
we do have the links also, for the record, to my knowledge.
You have the familiar possessed link, the charmer
well,
link.
We have the links that are in the familiar, the charmer. To my knowledge, we have every charmer card in the OCT and TGC are currently in Duel Links.
Okay.
Like that might affect it.
So you have like the Hida link and like the Earth link, and like you have like Asa and all those links.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To my knowledge, this skill launched with the same time the links came out. So let me put it this way: these generic skills are basically 6 months old at the minimum.
Okay.
Or maximum, actually.
I'm gonna say, since you can only do this once per duel, and you have to play these a little bit worse familiar possessed cards, I'm gonna say that this is not good.
Okay, King of Games, and it got into the Kyber Corp, and it got to Duel Link, the duel level max, which for record is basically you have managed to get to the point where you could potentially earn a spot at the actual tournaments for regionals or globe or national.
So basically, you're saying this is broken.
I wouldn't say it's broken. I would say it's at least decent enough to be King of Games, which, keep in mind, this is going up against a ton of decks. And you have to, I've not personally been King of Games, I have a friend who is, but as I understand it, it's basically, you have at least 3 duel losses before you are automatically kicked down a grade, and you have to redo the entirety of that grade below it to go back up.
Okay, so it's like kind of like a.
That I did not know, so that is me talking straight out my ass and off memory.
So it is a qualification to get to this King of Games thing, is what you're saying.
This is at least, I would say this is probably about tier 1. I don't think there's many without skills that there is no, without the skills, everything would be considered tier 1 if it's a King of Games. Depending on the skill you got for a archetype, it could be tier 0. So that is pretty much depends on the specifics you got.
Okay, so now we're 0 for 2. Okay, we're failing. Let's look at the third one. Yeah, like I have zero context on like how good these can be. Like the Dino DNA one seemed awful, and then this Awakening of the Charmer seemed too niche. So let's just look at the third one and see if it's good. This one is Kyber Corp Bling. Your dual assessment score for using glossy prismatic cards will be multiplied 1.5. I did not know that there were skills like this, but this is funny.
Don't worry about that. Do not worry about that. That is that right there. That first line is why it's here, because it's a meme.
Okay.
Because that is the main part of it that I was found hilarious because for basically, as long as I can remember, that was the only thing that was on this skill.
Oh,
The
got it.
second
Okay.
part of it is relatively new to my knowledge.
Okay. It can be used each time your life points decrease by 2,000. In the draw phase, instead of doing a normal draw a random glossy prismatic card in your deck. This skill can only be used once per duel. I mean, okay, that card, that part's just actually broken because you can only have, if you only have one glossy / prismatic card in your deck, you just draw the exact card you want to draw. And that is, like, pretty busted. So, like, I'm just going to say right off the rip that this card... Go ahead.
Yeah, and for record, glossy and prismatic cards are not like in actual TCG where it can be it's a random thing. You can upgrade every card to being either one of them.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to say this card's busted.
To my knowledge, if I remember correctly, the duel builder will try to default to the highest rarity the card you have. And I think that's specifically to prevent the strategy you're talking about.
Okay. I'm still going to say this is busted.
Okay, let me actually double check. Yeah, this is at the Canada Games skill, and
let's go.
It's got to the Covered Court Cup, and it got to top 100. So this isn't too bad.
Nice. Okay. Well, now we're 1 for 2. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the 4th card.
This one is going to be a lot of discussion because this has had a lot of, because this is based off Yusei Fudo, so, and this is his starting skill, so.
Well, skill is Mark of the Dragon Head. At the beginning of the duel, add 2 Junk Synchron to your deck. In addition, add 1 Stardust Dragon, add 1 Shooting Star Dragon, 1 Formula Synchron to your extra deck. Do you start out with an extra deck in this game, or you start out with extra deck, right? 15 cards?
You can. That's why I said it's a 4 to 5, maybe 6 for extra deck, and you can get up to a maximum of 8.
Okay.
I think it might be 4 or 5 because I remember you have to at least, because when you're using EXEs, links, and synchros, you can get extra deck slots. So I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Okay.
That you start with.
I'm also going to say that since this lets you add the cards,
skill cards can go direct. If you go to the maximum of 40 for your main deck and your maximum of 5 or 8 for the extra deck, anything that is added to the hand from skills, added to decks, and the extra deck actually will break that limit, and it will be considered legal.
Okay. So if you submit a 38 card deck or a 18 card deck and you have the skill, you still can submit an 18 card deck?
No, it has to be at the minimum. It still has to fit within the 20 to 40. So
it'll be 22 cards then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can go and this would make it 42 to the actual.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why I want to make that clear because that will potentially give you a lot of thought process.
Okay. So I think that you can kind of build, if you know that you're going to have this skill, you can kind of build your deck around having this skill, and you potentially get more extra deck slots than you would normally be able to get. And not only, I mean, Junk Synchron's like an okay card. Like, you're never like upset to draw this card. So I think it's like, I think this skill is pretty good. I think this can be like, King of Games or whatever you said.
Yeah, and like I said, it's really when you unlock the 5Ds world and you get Yusei Fudo, this is the skill you get from the start of the entire thing. You don't even have to work to get this.
Nice.
You really,
and it's good, right?
Yeah, this is like I said, this is King of Games good, and the edit is basically at the start it was only Shooting Star Dragon that was added. It's not Shooting Star, it was Stardust. After they released Shooting Star, that's when they added at some point after. I don't know the exact time frame, but honestly, he didn't start with Shooting Star Dragon because, like I said, as cards get added, decks will be adjusted and all this.
Okay, now, I'm 2 for 2, okay? Can I go 3 and 2? Okay, can I pass the challenge of the Duel Links skills?
Yeah, and this one is going to be our Westo format one. So And for sanity, rush duels and Duel Links work exactly the same as IRL rush duels. So there is no differences between the two besides having skill slot.
Okay. Okay, this one's long. Alright, get ready to be amped up. This skill can be used if the only level 7 or higher monster in your deck is Psychic type. At the beginning of your turn, from turn 4 onward, you won't be able to hold back anymore and become a hangry duelist. Requirement: can be activated before your normal draw on your turn 4 onward, once per duel. Effect: 3 cards from your normal draw will be Prema Gitarna, the Shining Superstar, from your deck, and Esperade, the Smashing Superstar, and Roman Pick from outside of your deck. During this turn, you can only direct attack once. No clue what most of that means.
Yeah, for the record, the requirement and effect is because of the fact it's a rush duel, which every card has to have a requirement and an effect. And I chose this one specifically because it's the character transforms in the actual thing. So like there's also a Barian Battlemorph and a Zexomorph. In this case, it's based off of an event where Roman was doing the main protagonist of the 7th anime. I don't remember the name of the character, but basically during the duel, she got stupid hungry and became hangry. So the effect is she becomes the hangry Roman.
Okay, so what?
Like I said, it's this way. And they actually have a transformation, and they actually do change the character portraits and stuff.
Okay, so what do these 3 cards do?
Okay, let me actually. That's also why I have it pulled up. So, Prima Anatina, the Shining Superstar, is a level 7 psychic light effect. The requirement is you pay 1,000 life points. The effect is all face-up monsters on your field gain attack equal to the number of monsters on your opponent's field times 300 until the end of this turn. It has an attack of 2,200 and no defense. So that's the one that gets added to your hand. A deck is in your deck, added to your hand from outside the deck. As wait, the Spicy Superstar. Second effect, it's a level 7 dark monster. Your life points are 1,000 or lower is the requirement, and your effect is you destroy 2 monsters on your opponent's field. Attack of 2,500, no defense. And for a Roman Pick, a level 1 light monster, second effect, requirement, if your life points are lower than your opponent's by pay 500. Effect, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. For a second type monster is among the cards sent. Add 1 second monster from the graveyard to your hand. Attack 500, no defense.
Okay.
And for record, there are no dual sideboard in Duel Links, and when it says outside the deck, it's basically you don't even need to own the cards, and then will just be it's like Conjuring and Arena basically.
Right. It's like Conjuring in Alchemy in Arena.
Yeah, that's why I was saying matches the Arena. That's why I went for Arena because I figured that's what I play, and I figured that's a good convenient.
Okay, let's see. How do I feel about this? I mean, the you getting those cards for free, 1 from your normal draw and then 2 from outside the deck, seems pretty good. You can only directly attack once during the turn you do that, but that's kind of fine. You can't kill them. Like your life points are under 1,000, so you do the dark one. You kill your opponent's 2 monsters, and then you attack them. You only pretty much need 1 attack basically, and then it goes to your opponent. Being the hangry duelist is super funny. Can be activated during your normal draw on your turn 4 onward.
This is a
it's turn 4 onward, but you do have to normal summon these cards, right?
Yeah, there is. Unless you, in this case, there is. Currently, there are no actual access to extra deck and Duel Links was still, but there are fusion monsters that are in the current format of IRL was format, but we are currently waiting on that because the Savage World is where we got the generics skills from, and that, like I said, that was 6 months ago. And on average, every year around October, is roughly when we get the September, October is when the new world releases. So we got about another 3 to 4 months before the next before Go West comes out, and that's where the fusions come in. So there's no extra deck.
How good is special? Like how often can you special summon in Rush Duel?
Basically, anything that can be special summoned always has a requirement on the effect. There is no free special summons. Like, I can't think of any card that really just says no effect, special summon the card. Like, the closest you got is maximum summoning. But even then, that still has the requirement of you need to have all 3 cards in your hand for the maximum summon, and you give up all 3 your monster slots to make up 1 monster.
Okay, I'm trying to think of how often you just get to tribute summon a level 7 monster in this game, which is like,
because you have there's no limit on the normal summons.
There's no limit on the amount of normal summons that you can get.
Yeah, I think they specifically had it's the same normal summon rules as regular Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's no limit on that.
So you just get to ultimate offering every turn, like just for free.
Yeah, and if you have less than 5 cards, you will draw up to 5 cards each turn.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes this much better.
Also 4,000 life points.
Okay, I think this card, because of that I didn't know before, I think this skill is really, really, really good.
Yeah, that's why Lethal is definitely a different beast. And let me put it this way, I was looking at all these skills, and none of them all of them have a King of Games ranking somewhere on them. So it's one of those things where Westel's, I'm gonna have to for that one, I'm going off of, for any time I do a Westel from now on, it's gonna be King of Games automatically, just because at this point everyone's been trying to get into it. So
true. Okay, yeah.
That one.
So this one is good, right?
That's just it. Yeah.
Thank you once again, Dimitri, for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you. Once again, if you want to be a part of the show, you can join the Discord, or not join the Discord. You can join the Patreon down in the description below, and as always, you can use code JAME7 at checkout, JAME7 at checkout at prodigygames.com to get 7% off of literally anything in the store. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, peace. All right.
Well, that's actually perfectly timed.
Yeah, it was very perfectly timed. I didn't even
plan to time it that well.
Yeah, it was perfectly timed. Yeah, I know you were waiting to time it when I do this, right?
Read this part in that one. Like, I want that reaction to be read in, because that is the reaction is perfect.
Yeah, you did it at the same time. That's cool.